Hello and welcome to session 4 of our Adventures in Middle-earth campaign. Everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited. Through the realm of light and shadow, here we go. So, when we last left off, wrapping up your battle with the spiders, you decided to make a couple vials of spider venom. Edrahel was successful in making 2 vials of spider venom oil. You doused 15 arrows and split them within the party. Nebuchadnezzar, you were a little sad you didn't get any arrows, but we know now that you use a bow occasionally. Each arrow does an additional 1d6 poison damage, so don't forget. Nebuchadnezzar, you decided to make some poison vials as well, and you succeeded in making 4 vials of something. So we can't wait for you to use them and find out what those vials do. 3 miles into your journey, the forest grew so dense as to block out the majority of sunlight. Despite finding a set of tracks and searching for food, your hunters, Nebuchadnezzar and Dala, were unable to locate any wildlife to eat. Veering off the path, Edrahel, you were able to avoid the party getting lost. Unfortunately, you still all took a point of exhaustion that evening due to your failed venture in finding some food. During your rest that night, Edrahel, you were exhausted and uncharacteristically fell asleep during your watch. After waking up, realizing your error, you immediately scanned through the party. Everyone was there. Unfortunately, one of the caravan horses was missing. Further investigation found that it had been consumed by some creature in the Mirkwood. Setting out on day 2 of your journey, your lookout, Cyrell, spotted an orc camp before your group stumbled into them. You went back and forth about whether you should raid the camp, look for food. You decided, since you can't benefit during a long rest in a journey, that it was best to leave the orcs alone and move on. So you didn't want to expend too much energy, gave them a wide berth, and nothing else happened that day. But the following day, Cyrell, you stumbled into a small area of ruins. It sparked the memory of a dream, one filled with hope and light and life. It encouraged you, and there before you sat a stone arch, perfectly preserved as a gleaming portrait against the rotten, twisted background of the trees in Mirkwood. Studying it, you recognized it as a piece of the woodland realm, lost by the elves to the dark forces that tainted Mirkwood long ago. But that arch still stands. It filled you with a sense of determination. The rest of the party stopped and took note. Many of you found your exhaustion fading away. Nebuchadnezzar and Dala stayed behind to watch the rear of the party and did not benefit from its rejuvenating presence. Everyone else, however, you guys did get a 1d6 of inspiration, which I don't believe anyone used, so remember you guys all still have that. And because it was my fancy inspiration and not a bardic one, it doesn't expire within 10 minutes, so you guys do still have that. Nebuchadnezzar and Edrahel were unable to remove their exhaustion at the arch, and unfortunately took a second point of exhaustion. Your journey deeper into the Mirkwood led to a tree, gray and dead. The branches lacked leaves. The tree itself looked old and frail, long dried out. It gave you the creeps. You decided to fell the tree. At the slightest disturbance, it collapsed and shattered, unnaturally, leaving behind a small stump and a black puddle of ooze. Eventually, you leave it behind and move on ahead. A short while later, you came across another tree, similarly rotted and dead. Attacking it caused the same reaction. Further investigation didn't reveal anything helpful, so you moved on for a short while, until encountering the tree again. Realizing it was the same tree, this time you spent a little extra time scoping out the area, trying to get a handle on the situation and figure out just what might be happening. Eventually, a slow and growing cackle let loose from beside your party, where we are now. You do not see the stranger. Roll for initiative.
Ooh, it's on.
Oh, yeah.
We ready.
25 to 20. Yay! 20 to 15.
17.
Oh,
Okay. We have Haley and Cyrell with a 17, 15 to 10.
12.
Dala with a 12. 10 to 5?
5.
Okay. Nebuchadnezzar. 5. What you got, Edgel?
4.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
You
But
guys are still exhausted, just recovering
You
still.
are. So something to keep in mind with 2 points of exhaustion, the first point gave you disadvantage on ability checks. The second point halved your movement speed.
Okay.
So for the two of you, you have 30 feet of movement. In a round, you now only have 15. So that's just a little fun fact for you. But top of the round.
Ability checks are not combat checks, correct?
What was that?
Ability checks are not combat
Correct.
checks.
They're not like attacks. They're not saving throws. Those are different. Higher levels of exhaustion will eventually give you disadvantage on those, though. Okay. Haley and Cyrell, at the top of the round, you share initiative, so you can decide who goes first and what you're going to do. As I said, you heard the cackling. You don't see anyone.
You want to go first, Haley? Okay, sure. So Cyrell pulls out his sword, shield at the ready. I imagine he's still on his horse Onyx. He looks around to the party and says, guys, there's something about, and I want to try to figure out if I can tell more about the cackling, like where it's coming from, direction, things like that.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. You got Will with me, so it gives me a bonus advantage. Nat 20. Woo woo! First one of the game. Here we go.
You die.
The first
The
shall
only
be
way to
last.
see
You
him.
perceive the deep darkness within the Mirkwood, and it breaks your heart. No. Okay, natural 20. Very nice. Okay, so where you are in the party, you hear the cackling out of your right ear. So you look over, and what you see over that way is a bit of flat land. You can see about 20 or 30 feet that way. The rest of it is mostly obscured by trees, brush, and canopy. As soon as you turn your head and you kind of steer with your knees, your horse over slightly that direction, and you peer into the woods, immediately you hear the cackling coming from behind you. And you turn and look that way. You still don't see anyone. And something about that activated Siri.
So confused for a second. I say to the group, I don't know if it's an echo from the forest or something fell is going on, but the sound's coming from all around us. At the ready, people.
Okay. Haley. Dala, you're on deck.
Well, that didn't really help too much. I was waiting.
Shots fired.
I'm trying my best. Yeah, Nat 20. I'm doing what I can.
The only thing I can do is ready my short bow. I guess I'll hold my action until something appears.
Okay, so you can hold your action. You can't hold your turn. In order to hold your action, you have to tell me what you are going to do and what the trigger is. So the trigger is something appears, and what action will you take when something appears?
I'm gonna fire my short bow.
You can fire your short bow.
An innocent person.
No, when something hostile appears.
Okay, so an entity can appear, and you may not immediately know if it's hostile. I'm not trying to be arguing semantics here, but is the trigger going to be if someone does something hostile towards your party? Because that is different than if you just see someone you haven't seen before.
Yes.
Okay, so basically what I'm trying to ask is, are you going to shoot at someone if they appear, or are you going to shoot at someone if they appear aggressively?
Appear aggressively.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Good to know.
And then I would also, for my movement, I would like to hide. I'm not on a horse currently,
Hiding
right?
is an action as far as actually taking a stealth check. You can hide, but you won't be able to make a stealth check.
Oh, okay. So I had just like walked up to the group, right? Because I went and
Yes.
scouted.
Yeah, and you come up behind the group afterwards.
Actually,
you can obscure yourself. You can't take advantage of the actual hide action.
so instead of holding my action, can I just like climb up on one of the horses, like maybe like join Cyrell on Onyx, so that like I'm not stuck on foot with my tiny hobbit legs?
Yeah, that's totally fine. You can do that.
Okay. And I'll have my short bow ready, but I won't hold that action.
Okay, as far as movement goes, because you're not exhausted and you're not taking difficulty from your movement, you can climb up on the horse without taking an action, I would say.
Okay, then I'll do both.
Cool. Okay,
Cyrell looks at you a little oddly, but he'll allow it this time.
This time.
Dala, you're up. Nebuchadnezzar, you're on deck.
I yell, "Who's there? Show yourself."
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dala come to play.
You.
Well, actually, she isn't here to play. I think she's here to kick some butt and to take some names. And she's all out of name tags.
I know what just happened.
14.
14. Okay. We'll find out if it is successful on the entity's turn.
So what I want to do is, with my stubby little dwarf legs, I'm going to pull out my warhammer, and I'm going to kind of stand back to back with Dala to kind of be ready, because I know she has her warhammer, I'm my warhammer, so I'll kind of watch her flank. And since she already yelled out, then I'm not going to yell out. I'm just going to kind of get ready.
Okay. Is there an action that you want to hold, or are you just drawing your weapon and standing there and calling that your turn?
I'm going to be alert that if like a spell or something comes at any sort of missile attack, then I want to be able to dodge it if it comes at me.
Okay, that's fine. So you are basically taking a defense action, if you will.
Yep.
Okay, good to know. Edrahel.
Are there trees around besides the one tree?
There are lots of trees. You're in an extremely dense forest.
All right, I want to climb one of the trees.
Okay, give me an athletics or an acrobatics check.
All right, let's go for athletics. 13.
13. You do locate a tree maybe 5 feet away from you. You climb up. You're able to get half your movement speed up the tree. You get about 15 feet up, and that is where you are. Is there anything you would like to do on the tree?
Just look. Well, so Cyrell wasn't able to see anything with his perception check, right?
Correct.
Would I have any kind of advantage from being in the tree, or would that be an action that would be wasted?
I don't think you have advantage unless something about your elven wandering nature gives you advantage in the Mirkwood in the forest.
Edrahel, what do your elvish eyes see?
Do my elvish eyes see? I'm
taking the hobbits to
Isengard. On its own, no, because it would be if it's like nighttime or something. According to my elvish proficiencies, doesn't actually says, it says bonus in perception doubles, but with the exhaustion, I don't know if I would have the bonus or not. What do you say?
You would, yeah. So you have disadvantage on ability checks. If you had advantage, it would cancel it out.
All right, so I want to check to see if I can see anything around, if I can perceive something.
Do it. Let me know what you get.
That would be a 14.
14. You spot, no. Listening from up above, you hear the laughter that came from the right side of the party near where Cyrell was looking in the flatland. And then you hear a second set of laughter over to the other direction. And you look upon that side, you see another small ridge with trees and canopies from the other side of the ridge kind of billowing over the top. almost like smoke pouring out of a chimney, or the branches and the leaves just kind of spilling out over the top of this ridge. You hear the cackling from that direction. You're looking for it, and you can't see anything, and it's actually making you very unnerved at the moment. You're pretty uncomfortable. I actually need everyone present to make a wisdom saving throw. Saving throws do not have disadvantage, just a reminder. So Edrahel, Nebuchadnezzar, you guys, it's just a normal roll.
Well, I got a natural 1, so went from 20 to 1. You know, just
You're-
I'm all
You're
extremes
scared.
today. I'm just doing the extremes. So I roll. That's how I live.
Yeah.
Yeet.
Well
I
done,
got,
sir. Well done.
18. So I ain't scared of no ghost.
Dala, what'd you get?
15.
Edrahel.
10.
And Haley.
8.
8. Okay. Edrahel and Haley, unfortunately, the both of you take a shadow point for me.
Dang.
As the cackling seems to jump from one side of the party to the other, the unnerving nature, the frightening nature of what's going on right now grips you for a moment. You are actually stunned for your next turn. So, for those of you who do not know
Glad I'm on
what
horse.
stunned does, you are incapacitated, you cannot move, you cannot speak. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and you automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws.
And that's for a turn.
For the turn, yes. It's for as long as the condition lasts, and the cause of this condition will only last for one turn. So,
Is their horse scared? Because if their horse is scared, what happens? Because they're both on the horse.
What's up with Will?
that's a great question. And on your turn, you can make an animal handling check to find out if the horse is scared.
I'm not gonna handle that anyway.
Nebuchadnezzar doesn't.
I have enough to handle already. You know, I can handle that guy.
Okay, so top of the round, we get back to Haley and Cyrell. We'll go ahead and just do Haley's first because she doesn't do anything. Cyrell, your turn.
Quick question.
Yeah, what's
Not that I want to bring this up again. I got a natural 1, so what happened?
Sorry, I missed that. I was thinking natural 20. No, same exact thing happens. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We're just sitting on Onyx like,
Scared.
When it comes to saving throws, I don't really do anything crazy with a natural 1 or a natural 20 unless it's a lot different than just being scared. But you are still.
Question.
Yeah.
So I'm stunned. If Will is still up, one of the things that Will does is tries to help me out or cover me if I should like fall from the saddle or anything. Do I like just stay on Onyx or do I like lose my?
It's like you're paralyzed with fear.
Okay.
Yeah, but instead of it's not the paralyzed condition, it's the stunned condition. That's why I use that word. But it's basically like for a moment, fear kind of grips you. And if you ever had that moment where something happens and time just seems to stop, and then all of a sudden it's been like 30 seconds or it's been a minute or what have you. That's basically what's happening to you guys here. You're just in a moment of panic. A few seconds go by before you kind of shake your head and clear your mind. Did you roll for Will?
I did not. Do you know?
Roll for Will, yeah.
He rolled a 11. He's got +0 to wisdom, so I guess 11.
Okay. That's a failure. Yeah. So he is equally stunned. So raise your hand if you are not stunned.
What?
And Dala, you're good too.
Okay.
Sorry,
Me
one last
and
question.
you, Dada. We gotta fight this guy ourselves.
One
Yes,
last question. So I got a shadow point. Did Will get a shadow point, or does he just get stunned?
He just gets stunned. Right now, he's kind of not a full-on character.
Yeah.
We'll flesh that out. But for now, no shadow point.
I think you should get him like 5 points. Just really get him. Just really get
Really
him.
scared. He's really scared. Edrahel, do you have 2 shadow points now?
I know, as far as I know, only one.
Did someone get a shadow point last session? Was it you, Nebuchadnezzar? Gotcha.
I just got my one.
Okay.
He was interacting with the tree.
I got very mad at the tree.
I looked at him wrong.
Yeah.
But the cookie should have taken away the shadow point, right?
That just added to my blood sugar points.
We do make a dive.
By the way, I do keep track of that. No, just
But like role playing just got super real right now. Or track of blood sugar points.
everyone roll your blood sugar
In
test.
search of insulin.
Pay $1,000 and it can be yours.
Right.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Diabetes is awful. We don't mean to offend anyone. We're sorry. I have several family members who are diabetic, so that doesn't really save the joke, does it? No, it doesn't.
It doesn't save it.
Okay. Doesn't make it okay.
Doesn't make it
Dala, you are suddenly up again. You notice about half of your party, your compatriots, are stunned and confused, not really moving, just like that, Cyrell. You hear the same cackling for a third time, again over by the ridge. It is stayed by the ridge this time. It has not jumped around.
Okay. So I take out my short bow
Okay.
and I tell them, like, I yell again and I'm like, I don't want to have to use this. So show yourself.
Okay. Make an intimidation check. I like the short bow tactic. Roll with advantage. So roll
16.
twice and take the highest. What was that?
16?
16 is the highest you got? Okay.
Did you roll twice?
Yeah.
Awesome. I will let you know what happens on their turn. Nothing happened on their turn last round. So that's all. Nebuchadnezzar.
Once again, I'm just gonna watch Dalla's back and just keep my eye on like the rear guard, just in case if he tries to jump around again. But my guy is what was that?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. It says that with my Slayer class, it says I have something called Vigilant Sense, where it says you get advantage on perception checks when seeking to detect ambushes or enemies. So
Advantage it is.
but I have the exhaustion, so I'll just roll one
Not
time.
disadvantage, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
Normal roll.
A good old what do I got here? Oh, a 7. A 7.
7, a very holy number.
Yep. Completion.
All right. So you have Dalla's back to back. You've got your warhammer out. She's got a warhammer and she's got a short bow, yelling out there, don't want to have to use this. And you're just kind of looking grizzled and angry and baring your teeth. You peer over the ridge looking and waiting to see what might come over. Suddenly you see, hopping from behind one tree to another, a sleek figure. Someone who looks to be very agile. They've got flowing golden hair that is about down to middle of their back.
Legolas.
Yes, it's Legolas. Their hair in the front is kind of pulled over to a side and tied behind their head. You just get a brief glimpse of them as they appear from behind one tree and then immediately disappear behind another tree. Almost unnaturally fast. It looks like they moved from one tree to the other about 15 feet apart in maybe half a second. You just see them step out and then they kind of fade, and then you see them reappear next to this tree right as they disappear behind it.
All right. So of course I'm gonna warn the party, but I'm gonna tell Dalla to just keep her eyes on that side.
Okay. On the other entity's turn, there's another cackling laugh, this time from further up the ridge, more just straight in front of you guys. As they go at the top of the round, they rolled a little bit higher than a 17 on their initiative. You hear the laughter. All of you, your stuns end at the start of your turn. And you see a person step out from behind a tree, maybe 35 feet in front of you guys. He has a bow on his back with a quiver. He doesn't currently have the bow in his hands. On his side, he's got a warhammer on just like a hilt on his hip. So it's massively large. Looks a little ridiculous having a warhammer on your hip instead of your back. And he's walking as if it's weightless and doesn't bother him whatsoever as he kind of saunters forward to you guys about 35 feet away. And he goes, "Hello there, what's the problem?"